Hey girls, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Therese, and on this channel I usually do skincare and makeup reviews so you can see a general idea on how products work on a normal consumer before purchasing them. Because if you're like me who gets very overwhelmed on what product to choose, especially nowadays, there's a lot of new launches. Hopefully by testing out these products, I can help you choose what product best suits you. So if this is the type of content that you want to see, don't forget to like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video comes out. So on today's video, I am going to help you choose the best concealer. So I just purchased 5 new concealers from Sephora, and I'm going to test them back to back to see which one performs the best. So let's start with the Dior Backstage Flash Perfector Concealer. I'm surprised that this one has a different applicator. It actually has a brush applicator instead of the usual doe foot applicator. So I got the shade 3N Neutral, and I think this is the shade that matched my skin tone. So I didn't get a shade that is a brightening one. This one has a caffeine infused formula to help depuff under the eyes. Let's see. When it comes to coverage, I think that it has a very light coverage, but because it is laying a little too flat on my face, though I can really see the fine lines under my eyes, which is very normal. We all have those fine lines, but because it is very thin, like immediately I can see the creases under my eyes being highlighted. Like when I squint, I can really see that. When it comes to shade, I think that because I got a darker shade, it really doesn't brighten my under eyes, and also it doesn't match my skin, so that's my bad. But disregarding the shade, I think that it would give you a medium coverage. Let's also do it on the other side, and I'll also use this to spot correct any of my pimple marks and the redness on the side of my nose to see how well it covers those redness. It really sticks onto your skin, like it doesn't move. I like that about it. I think I'm liking this more on covering my dark spots than under my eyes. Well, first of all, because of the color, but also it sticks really better on the rest of my face than on my under eyes. Okay, so I spot corrected some parts of my face, and then on the side of my nose, and I also concealed under my eyes. So this is side by side of without the concealer and with the concealer. So with this concealer, I think that this is very blendable. It's so easy, especially since it has a brush instead of the usual doe foot applicator, so I can have the perfect amount on the brush. I love how easy it is to spot conceal some areas with this brush. You can be really precise with it. It has a soft matte finish. It's not dewy, it's not radiant. It dries down into a soft matte finish, and since it is not too dewy, it's not too radiant, it doesn't move around, so it's really perfect for spot correcting areas on your face. When it comes to coverage, I think that this can give you up to a full coverage because it is very buildable. So this is the first concealer that I have tried, so I'm going to give this a ranking of 3 out of 5. I just didn't like it under my eyes, really highlighting the fine lines under my eyes. Now let's move on to the second concealer. This is the Makeup by Mario Surrealskin Concealer. I super love the Makeup by Mario Surrealskin foundation, so I have high hopes for this. This one has 2 highlighted skincare ingredients. Number 1 is caffeine that depuffs the under eye, just like the Dior, and it also has a fermented marine microorganism that claims to smooth the skin with collagen-like stimulation, and it gives you a visible tightening effect. This one has the usual doe foot applicator. I'm going to try it on this side. Oh, It glides on very smoothly on the skin. It has more of a slip compared to the Dior. Let's swatch it on my hand as well. It glides very smoothly, and with one glide you can really see that it's very pigmented. So let's get a new brush and let's blend it. Still see the fine lines under my eyes, but since it is not very matte, it doesn't lay flat under my eyes and it doesn't highlight that. You can see that with two swipe it concealed up to the top of my cheeks, so a little goes a long way. I'm gonna use some of the concealer that I swiped on my hand as well. Right off the bat, this is what I'm looking for in a concealer under my eyes. I like that it doesn't highlight the lines under my eyes, because the under eyes is usually dry, and this instantly you can feel the hydrating and moisturizing effect once you put it on. I'm gonna spot conceal some of my dark spots and redness to see how it performs on the skin if it doesn't move. I'm gonna pat that there. It's also great for the face because it doesn't move. You can really tell that it doesn't move on your face, but you can also feel how moisturizing and hydrating it is. So when it comes to blendability, I think that this is very blendable. Even on initial application, it really seamlessly glided so well under my eyes and on my face. When it comes to formula and texture, again, it is very hydrating. Now that it's setting, you can't see how radiant it is anymore, but you can still see a little of that wet look because it is very moisturizing. So I think that this one has a little of a dewy finish. When it comes to coverage, I think that this can give you a medium to full coverage. Let's see if I added more on my red spots. Let's see how buildable this concealer is. I think this is a very buildable, so this can give you medium to high coverage. I just love how dewy it looks under my eyes. This is really nice under the eyes because I usually really prep my under eye before I put on the concealer, but I think that this one is more of a 2-in-1 concealer under the eyes, because with this you don't really have to worry about prepping your under eyes too much. It already has that moisturizing ingredient in it, so it really lays nicely on the skin and doesn't really highlight those fine lines under your eyes. I'm also going to set this with the Charlotte Tilbury, but I think I'm going to set this with a darker shade because now I got a very light shade. I was really thinking of getting 2 shades for each concealer, one for the under eye to brighten up my under eyes, and then one shade that really fits my skin tone, but I got them online, so I was really not sure what shade to get, so I just base it on the photos there, and now I either get a dark shade or a very light shade, but I think this shade is perfect for my under eyes. Again, this is the shade 180. So I'm gonna set it with my Charlotte Tilbury. Not to be biased, and this is just my second concealer to try on, I'm not gonna hold back and I'm going to rank this with a 5 out of 5 stars. I really think that it helped in depuffing my under eyes. I really like that it's very moisturizing. I like that I don't need to worry about prepping my under eyes because this one already has that moisturizing ingredient. So the concealer really glided so well on my under eyes, and I love that again it didn't highlight any of my fine lines under the eyes. This is so fun because my first concealer I was like 50-50 about it, and then now that I've tried my second concealer, I'm like, I'm not gonna hold back. I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5. It's really amazing. Let me know in the comments down below if you like this format better, where I really test out products back to back instead of me reviewing one product at a time. I'm really enjoying this so far. Just with these 2 concealers, I can really already tell what I like and what I don't like about them. So Let me know in the comments down below if you want more back-to-back reviews. Maybe we can do a back-to-back drugstore concealer the next time. So let me know in the comments down below. I'll be down for it. This is without the concealer and this is with the concealer. That's a huge difference. It really evened out my skin tone as well. It really canceled all the redness underneath. So this is my before and after using the Makeup by Mario concealer. So our next concealer is the Makeup Forever HD Skin. This one is a smooth and blur undetectable concealer. It has a smooth skin complex composed of jojoba oil to help hydrate skin, hyaluronic acid, and snow mushroom that contribute to visible plumping and smoothing, and soft focus powders to blur, and coated pigment to color correct. Let's try it under my eyes. I think that this finally is my right shade. Ooh, this one has a cooling effect. I love that it feels cooling under the eyes. That's really nice. It's true when they said that it has a gel consistency when you try it on, but with 2 swipes, it's not that pigmented. So we're just gonna build it. We're gonna add 2 more. Comparing it to the Makeup by Mario and the Dior, I feel like I need to do 3 swipes. As long as it's buildable and can cover my imperfections, I don't mind building. Oh, look how wet it looks. It looks really dewy. We are now on our 4th swipe. It is definitely very buildable though, but I can really see the redness over here picking through. There you go. It actually really feels like a skincare because of that gel formula. But I'm really amazed looking at my camera. It really looks like a second skin. Oh my goodness. I also love this. Okay, wait. Let's try it on the other side before I tell you my final verdict. So far with this, you really have to put a lot, not a lot, but like if you want to cover this area, make sure that you put it all over that area. Compared to the 2 concealers that I've tried, you can just do 2 swipes, and when you blend it, it will really cover a large amount of area on your face. Oh, I love this. It really looks very skin-like. I love how it feels very cooling under the eyes. It's also scent-free. It is ticking all the boxes for me. I don't mind that I have to build it to have that full coverage. I don't mind it at all because it really feels good on the skin. Now let's add a little bit more on the side of my nose, maybe a little on the top as well, and then some. If you have very dry under eyes, I think that you would love this as well. Oh my god, I'm putting it all over my face because I really love it, how it feels on the skin. Yes to this, 100% yes. This is my after using the Makeup Forever. I think I forgot to tell you, my shade for this is 2.2N Macadamia for medium skin tone. So with this Makeup Forever concealer, it has a very unique texture. I feel like I don't have to worry if I'm going to use a brush, if I'm going to use my fingers. I think that even if I just use my fingers, rub it, or just, you know, blend it using my fingers, it still would look good. It's very buildable. I won't say that it would give you a full-on heavy coverage. Because of that gel formula, you can still see underneath your skin. It evened out my skin tone, but if you have really dark marks like melasma, I don't think that it would cover that, but it's still very buildable. It will give you medium to almost full coverage, but I won't say it's very full coverage. And so far, this one feels the most hydrating, and you can really see even on the screen my face is really glowing. And even though it's very glowy, it really adheres to my skin. Like even if I touch it, it doesn't move. So to better explain it, I think that this one feels like a skincare with a coverage of a concealer, if that makes sense. Yeah, even if I squint, it doesn't move. So I think that this won't really crease, but let's set it with powder and see how it looks like when it's set with powder. And if you're not new to my channel, you know that I'm very biased to skin-like foundations, skin-like concealers. So this one really is stealing my heart. I thought that the Mario one would be my top one, and I immediately gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. But for this one, we have to add another star. So I'm giving this a 6 out of 5 stars. Or maybe let's put the star up. So Makeup by Mario is 5 out of 6. And this one is 6 out of 6 stars. It looks very skin-like. I love how it feels underneath my skin. And I love how it looks even before I set it with powder. There's 2 more. Let's see if I'm still gonna add some stars. Okay, let's move on to our 4th concealer. This brand is very new to me. I've never tried any of their products. So this one is the KULFI Main Match Concealer. And I got the shade Mitai Soul, which is for light to medium with subtle golden undertones. This one is says to be crease-proof, self-setting, hydrating concealer with a radiant looking finish in a medium coverage, perfect for hiding the look of dark circles, hyperpigmentation, and blemishes. So I feel like for new concealers, they always have a skincare ingredient in it. This concealer, this one has amla fruit extract that supplies an abundance of antioxidants, saffron flower extract that hydrates and smooths the skin, and rose hip extract that locks in hydration. I think that this is 1 shade lighter, but let's see. Let's start with that. Oh, I think it's a good match. Let's see. Let's blend it out. This one is also very light and it has a creamy texture, so I think that I need to apply it like how I applied the Makeup Forever one. It is buildable. I can still see a little of that redness. I'm gonna use my finger for that. It is also very hydrating, but not as radiant as the Makeup Forever. It doesn't look as wet as the Makeup Forever, if that makes sense. So that's how it looks like with the concealer without. So let's try it on the other eye. It's not as dewy as the Makeup Forever. It feels hydrating though. It really feels hydrating under the eyes, but it doesn't have that cooling effect. It also looks very skin-like. We can only go up to a medium coverage because it really applies very light on the face. I think this one is great for like every day. I've never tried this brand, but I really enjoy this one too. I think that this one is also really good. It also looks very skin-like. It's very hydrating. It is not emphasizing the lines under my eyes. Since I've tried the Makeup Forever and I really like it, I think that I am now comparing this to, when it comes to performance, they're very close, but this one just really performed well. It really applies really well under my eyes. And again, I'm just missing more coverage. He said that this one is actually self-setting. Let's see if it doesn't transfer at this point, although it still feels very wet. Oh, it's still transferring. I'll wait for about 10 minutes to see if it is self-setting and if I don't really have to set it with powder. Okay, 10 minutes has passed and I really think that it is self-setting. As if it doesn't transfer. It doesn't transfer. Because this one is self-setting and I don't have to worry about setting this with powder, and even though it's already set, I can still see that glow. I think I have to adjust my points for this. I think I'm going to give this a 5.2 out of 6 stars. So let's try the last very popular concealer, the Tower 28. So the skincare ingredient that's highlighted on this concealer is hyaluronic acid to keep your skin looking supple, smooth, and bouncy, Centella asiatica leaf extract that soothes and calms sensitive skin, lysine that supports the production of collagen and repairs and prevents dryness, and this is also a clean brand. So let's try this on. It also has a doe foot applicator. So far, every concealer has a doe foot applicator except for the Dior one. So let's put this under. Oh, it glides really smoothly, just like the Makeup by Mario. Right off the bat, it feels very hydrating. I think this is the thinnest concealer out of the 5. It doesn't highlight the lines under my eyes, because the Dior one is also very thin, but this one highlighted my under eye because it's not moisturizing enough. So I'm gonna add like that underneath and add more. And so far, I think that this one is the closest shade match to my actual skin tone. Right? It's a soft matte finish, I think. Doesn't have too much of a dewy finish. I thought it would have, because this one has hyaluronic acid, Centella asiatica leaf extract. So far, it's not as dewy compared to the KULFI and the Makeup Forever. Let's add some more here. When it comes to coverage, I think that this one has a light to medium coverage. Let's see if I can build this more. It is very blendable. Let's see how full coverage it can be. Let's also put some the side of my nose and on the redness on my face. I think this one is also self-setting. So this one has a soft matte finish. The coverage, I think, is almost full. It's very buildable. Also didn't highlight the fine lines under my eyes. I think that the finish of this is just in the middle. So with the Makeup Forever, it looks very skin-like with the added dewiness. But this one is very skin-like without it being too dewy. So far, since this one does not highlight the fine lines under my eyes, it also applies really well. It also has a good coverage, but compared to the Makeup by Mario, I think that this one doesn't have a high coverage than the Makeup by Mario. I'm giving this one a 4.5 out of maybe 4.7. Now I'm just messing with the decimals. Okay, let's just give this a 4.5 out of 6 stars. Now let's set this with powder. I feel like this concealer is just your classic concealer. I don't think it gives you like a new formula. It doesn't give you like that extra dewiness or that feeling of a really good skincare. I think that this would fit a lot of skin types, even if you're dry, even if you're oily, because it's not too matte and it's also not too dewy. The only thing is that the Makeup by Mario has more coverage compared to this, so that's why I'm giving this less points. But if you're starting with makeup and you can't decide what to get, I think that this concealer would be a safe choice. So now that I've tested all of these 5 concealers, if I remember my ranking correctly, I ranked Makeup Forever as my top. It is very skin-like. I love how cooling it feels when it is first applied on the face. I love how buildable it is. I love how it looks like after setting it with powder or even before setting it with powder. And then I think my second is Makeup by Mario. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I chose Makeup by Mario because it has the best coverage out of the 5. I think this one is, again, very makeup artist kit friendly. I feel like this would really be a good addition to your makeup kit if you are a makeup artist. It has a very good coverage. It glides very smoothly, and I think that it is best for a special occasion because of that high coverage and it wouldn't move on your skin. And then my third, I think, is the KULFI one, right? With this one, I'm just missing a little bit more of a coverage, but this one performs very closely like the Makeup Forever, and I like that it is self-setting. At my number 4 is the Tower 28 concealer. I think that this one is a classic. I think that this would fit a lot of skin types. I can't find any fault for this. Maybe just a little bit more coverage in comparing it with the 3 other concealers. The KULFI having a self-setting aspect with it, and then the Makeup by Mario having that really full-on coverage, and the Makeup Forever having that really skincare feel. I think that's very unique to each of those concealer. This one, it just doesn't have that very unique factor from it. But I think that this is still a very good concealer. It's just compared to the other 3 concealers, I just feel like there's nothing new to the formulation. And then my last concealer would be the Dior Backstage. I really like this on my face because it really adhered to my skin, and when it comes to coverage, it really covered the redness on my skin. But this is very thin in consistency, and when it dried down, it really highlighted the texture under my eyes. So this is my least favorite, and I think that I would even return this because the other 4 concealers really performed well on my face as well. So I think that if you have textured skin, I don't think that this would be good for you. And as for my preference, I just really like more of that skin-like concealer, and this really just laid flat on my skin. And if I'm going to select a concealer for each category, say if I am going to pick a concealer based on how it applies on my face, I think all of them really applied seamlessly on my face. But this one would go. Like, this one just applies really thinly on the face. So this one would go, the Dior one. When it comes to finish and texture, I think my winner would still be the Makeup Forever because of its very skin-like finish. When it comes to coverage, I think the Makeup by Mario concealer is my winner because it is very full coverage. A little goes a long way. And then when it comes to creasing, I didn't really test this for a few hours. I didn't test this throughout the day. Because the KULFI one is self-setting, I think that this would be a good option if you're looking for a concealer that wouldn't crease because it already sets by itself. So that's my back-to-back review on this new concealers from Sephora. I really enjoy doing this back-to-back review. So if you also like this format, just comment down below what type of back-to-back review you want to see from me. Again, as I've mentioned before, we can do a drugstore back-to-back try on and reviews. I really hope that you find this video helpful, and if you did, just don't forget to like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you'll always be updated once a new video is out. Thank you so much, dolls, again for watching, and if you're new here, I hope that I would see you again, and I hope that you come and visit my channel again. Thank you so much. I hope all of you have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!